So we're going to talk about some basics. So i.e. we'll talk about this at address position.
Okay.
We know you sit behind a desk a lot.
Yep.
And travel and
Yeah.
you know, all those types of things, because we don't get that unless
No.
you do. You look at what you've done for most of your life, which is first of all studied, then travelled, then clearly sitting behind a desk.
Yeah.
So we've got to look at that pretty much straight away. We're going to look at straightening that out,
Straightening out. Okay.
and then your arms will then sit and hang straight down, rather than actually moving in and then out. Okay, so what will happen is by the time you come back then to rotate around, your arms will be closer to out here than in here, because essentially you'll hit yourself in the legs if you don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my job is to make sure that these things here are good to start with. Getting that sound structure and that bass will be really, really important for me, and for you, sorry. So then we'll talk about what's going on over here.
Okay.
You will need that tilt in your shoulders,
Okay.
because
I should need it, is it?
you do need it, because
Okay.
your right hand's lower than your left on the golf club, so therefore your right shoulder
Okay.
has to be. But what we will ask for
Yeah.
is that, for the spine angle or the spine itself to be in line. Okay, and at the moment it's not. You can see it's quite straight over here,
Yeah.
and probably even sort of goes that way. Okay, so that would be my first port of call, to take care of those. And we'll also talk about your feet position.
Yeah.
If I turn your toes in that way, it's going to be extraordinarily difficult to rotate unless you're extraordinarily mobile. Internal rotation of this left hip, so we tend not to then move as efficiently as what we should. Yeah. So then you go to your comment before, which was then your axis staying quite stable. Now this was a good shot.
Right. Okay.
You hit this really well. Okay.
The previous one went flat to the left.
That's right. Yeah. So this one was really nice. So you notice that all of a sudden, it's almost instinctive that your brain knows it has to have that tilt to begin with. So now it's in a relatively good position to where it started from. And we start, because you've moved, and if you go back to this screen over here, now your pelvis is there. It's moved quite considerably, so you can start to see how steep the shaft is here, as opposed to where it started from there,
Yeah.
to get out of the way of itself, essentially. Now that wonderful decision maker up there, our brains, will do this automatically, whether you like it or not. It will work out a way. That's the beautiful thing about our brains. So we will just get a structured address that will allow you some sort of freedom of motion. Okay. Now tomorrow we're going to get you to make some swings that are just quite simply small. You'll think they're small, but because we're going to flatten your spine out and allow your body to rotate, they'll be a lot bigger than what you expect.
Right.
Okay. And you'll be surprised. Athletically, you're fit, you're strong. If we can get you to move and understand the movement pattern, you'll pick this up quite quickly. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We put it in full motion, and rhythm's an interesting word. I don't usually like to use the word rhythm. It's quite a good sequence. You do the right things at the right time. It's just because you've moved around quite considerably that you luck box when you hit it and you don't hit it. Okay. Still a good move. Okay.